Welcome back to this week along the news for new drones. Let me share my screen here. We've got a few new drones to actually talk about.
And one of them's, I actually really like one of them. Yes, this one, the FLIR one, super awesome.
So those of you who don't know, FLIR basically is owned by Teledyne. It's a publicly traded large company, and FLIR is mostly focused on obviously their thermal sensors, their infrared sensors. Now, a couple of years ago, FLIR bought Ariane Skyranger, who was producing this drone right here, which is called the Skyranger. Mostly a really popular drone from 2013 to about 2018-ish for public safety. So when FLIR bought the entire company a couple of years ago, I mean, obviously the speculation was they were going to produce aerial systems, drones with their own camera sensors. And from the look of it, that definitely came true with FLIR's its own professional drone, and it's called Cyrus. Has an interesting look for sure.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Like I like the features of it. I like how it comes standard with the. I mean, it's definitely built for enterprise. It's built for public safety. So there's a lot of data secure. The video that they showed, like pretty much half of it's talking about how secure your data will be and how it's not going to be connected online and not going to be sold and all that stuff. How it's private. I think everything goes to like an onboard SSD. Nothing gets connected through data or cellular or anything like that. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. It has a the gimbal there like comes off. Like, so future proof for future gimbals, or they want to upgrade the main camera.
So you can detach it. Yeah.
I think the main camera is like 12 megapixels. So and then like has of course the infrared camera on there. So there's other improvements. Of course there will be improvements over the years. They can put a new one on there. The batteries are hot swappable, which I wish would come on more drones. I mean, I guess size-wise, you're pretty limited on smaller ones, but that'd be really cool to get more like hot swappable batteries on drones, especially on consumer side, because that'd be super awesome. So
it does have zoom feature. I mean,
it does. It goes like 128x or something like that, like zoom.
It's a digital zoom, but still, it helps when you can actually see it on the screen, right?
Yeah, and it's like, and the camera's designed for that kind of zooming. Like it's pretty, hopefully it does much better than something like trying to crop it in like something from that's not designed for that. So I like the controller has a built-in screen, like of course like any enterprise solution would. It seems like it has like 6 legs, or those are radars, those are antennas. That makes sense. It looked like it had 6 legs for a second. I'm like, wait, that's 6 legs? That might some weird antennas on the back.
Most of the features are what was on the Ariane Skyranger before, but it looks like a newer design. I know I've heard some people complain about, it's only 12 megapixels for the camera, but keep in mind this is not a filming drone, right? It's a public safety drone.
Public safety inspections, like you don't need all that. I mean, for maybe inspections you might want a little bit more, but like, I mean, if you can zoom in, you don't really need all that much. Even 12 megapixels is still pretty good.
Because timing is different when it comes to public safety. It's not like when we do filming, or even when we do, let's say, inspection, you collect the data, you take the data back and you analyze it. But with public safety, most of it, they have to make decisions on the spot. So they have to see, either zoom the image, or they have to be able to better see the data, analyze the data right on the spot.
Yeah, and you're also talking about reliability, like especially with public safety. Like you're not going to push the edges of what's possible on a public safety drone. You're going to do what's good. You're going to do what's it was always worked.
Or have a backup.
Or have a backup. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, that's the one cool thing about the hot swappable gimbal. It's like, okay, you actually hit something and the gimbal breaks, you can just put a new one on. Like, that's one thing as well. You can you have multiple gimbals.
Yeah, I'm just looking at they have a authorized retailer.
Yeah. Oh, and it's not cheap, by the way, either. Pricing? It's like what, $9,000, something like that. I think. I mean, it doesn't say here.
It wasn't listing on there, but I saw somewhere it was saying around $9,000.
Yeah, it's about $9,000. So it's not.
Yeah, it's $96.95. But okay, guess how much was Ariane Skyranger? Where's
$96.99? So you got a $4 discount.
Okay, but guess how much was this?
I don't.
Back in 2013.
$96.99.
The whole system back then was $120,000.
Oh boy, technology. Yeah. Ooh, that's gotten cheap.
Yeah, so
it's a steal.
If you look at that and then you look at $96.95, you know what? It's not too bad, right?
Yep. So
Along new drone systems, Dragonfly. So again, Dragonfly is one of the long-standing drone companies for public safety and industrial as
mhm.
well. So it says they've announced three new drone products, and they were shown at the Vegas Expo. So if you've been following the commercial drone news, this was the week for commercial UAV Expo at Vegas.
My
And that is
email's been
an event
filled with press
covering
releases.
all the drone business sectors you can think of, right? So definitely the show of the year if you're in that commercial drone space.
And there's been just, I mean, I see a whole bunch of like, I mean, companies I've never heard of, like out there, like, oh, release a new drone. I'm like, I haven't heard of you guys before. Like, okay, cool. Like, I'll look into you guys. But like, yeah, there's so much going on out there with stuff. And I wish I could have been out there for stuff. So, but maybe next year we'll be out there.
This year there were a lot more demos. So they were actually showing new drones, stepping out to actually show demos, which was really cool.
Mhm.
And if you are interested in just the drone business space, right, that is definitely the place to go, because with business it is about networking, meeting the right people, see what's happening in the industry.
Yep. I can
Well,
attest to
see
that.
new toys. Sure, you never get
Also, who doesn't love expensive, over the top, toys to play with? I mean,
tired.
you'll never afford that massive fixed wing drone, but it's cool to see.
For sure. Um, DJI new product launch. So if you saw the announcement last week, and don't get too excited because it's not a drone, it is DJI's Action Cam. I'm still using GoPro. I'm not using the Action 2, so I guess we'll see
Yeah,
if Action 3, really delivers and
I've
and addresses, the concerns people had from Action 2.
I don't see a lot of people using action cameras a lot, from DJI a lot at all. I mean, it's one of those lines that they have because kind of coincides with DJI, all the other stuff, because with the gimbals and whatnot. But like, I don't. It's one of their, I guess, one of their less used. Although I did try using the Osmo Pocket in the last 2 weeks,
Yeah, I have the Osmo Pocket 2. It's still my favorite.
and
I
then
don't
and
see why
yeah.
I would get an Action Cam when I have Osmo Pocket. It's
So
better
here
stabilized.
it's awesome. And then when I was down there, the guy I was staying at, he bought the one of like the Hero 10 Black or something like that, one of the newest GoPro, and that has like stabilization built in, and it does like 4K. It just looks so much better. Like it has a front facing camera too and everything. And like I held it around, walked around, I'm like, oh, this is so much better than an Osmo Pocket. Like like why would I get an Osmo Pocket if I have this? They're both pretty interesting. And then hopefully we'll get this. I mean, I think it has, of course, it'll shoot native. Looks like it'll be shooting natively. Portrait is one of the features, of course, from the teaser image. Duh, like they've been pushing that with the Mini 3 Pro. So we'll see what's up. See if it looks any good. If it can compete with GoPro. That seems like a pretty tough market to crack into.
And along the news about potential DJI drones or new drones, repackaged
Yeah.
drones, more leaks came out about the Mavic 3 Classic, and then I also saw more leaks about the Mini 3 as well. So not the Pro version, just Mini
Hmm.
3. Um,
Yeah.
so it looks like the rumors are saying there's going to be a slightly cheaper, so lower class than your Mavic 3 or Mavic 3 Cine or the
Hmm.
Mini 3 Pro, just to introduce customers to a bit of price break, right? If they can't
Yep.
afford the higher price tag.
And I'm currently cleaning up an article to write with my opinion on this drone, specifically the Mavic 3 Classic. I think the Mini 3 standard would be like, it's gonna be absolutely amazing. It'll like replace maybe the Mini 2, hopefully, in that price point, and kind of like that. That makes a lot of sense for them. The Mavic 3 Classic just doesn't make sense to me. Like I get it. Like I think the only reason why it would make sense is if the Air 3 is getting delayed
Right.
later, because that's kind of the open price point they don't have, is that like mid between the Mini 3 Pro and the Mavic 3, like that 15 to maybe $1,400 price point of a drone that's not no compromise Mavic 3, like where it has everything you might need, and it's not small and has its limits like the Mini 3 Pro does. It's Mini 3 Pro is freaking amazing, but like it does have it, you can run into its limits pretty quickly.
Right.
Um the Air 3, like that just makes sense. Like, why don't you just make the Air 3 and instead of like making the Mavic 3 Classic to fit that price point for now, and then also next year we get the Air 3, and now we have that competing price point again, like we do with the Air 2S and Mini 3. We have the Mavic 3 Classic and Air 3 like competing for this price point.
I guess it's
I don't know. It
up
doesn't make sense a lot to me at all.
yeah. And then plus we're still waiting for Inspire 3.
Hmm. One more 3. Come on, let's do it. Like it's been out and been leaked for so long. Like how much
Still
longer
haven't
can it
seen it.
go? So
Now, talking about Mavic 3, the big news last week is Mavic 3 actually flew over Mount Everest.
this is cool. I saw this video come out and I was like, this is awesome. Although I would be absolutely terrified. Like I get a little scared just flying a drone over water. I can't imagine like flying it over like a cliff, like and like over the highest mountain. Like that's just insane to me.
The challenges of flying at the Mount Everest. So first of all, the air density, right? So that
Hmm.
reduces your lift power substantially when you're
Hmm.
flying anything. That's why a lot of let's say any rotorized aircraft, right, like a helicopter, if it goes over mountains, it's always more challenging. Wind, air density for the lift, all
Hmm.
the factors just come into effect. So seeing drone actually flying over Mount Everest, it definitely is a first because it's always challenging having any type of aircraft flying in, and let alone taking really stunning images up there.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing we were joking about before, we're pretty certain if this was in the United States, they would break one of those FAA suggestions of making sure you don't fly when you're
Human
fatigued.
factors.
Yeah,
Don't
one
fly
of the
when
human.
you're under when you're fatigued or oxygen deprivation, right?
Yep. Yeah,
But
like,
this
and
is
I think
definitely
this.
one of those extreme situations.
Luckily, they're not in the United States, so they don't have to follow those rules.
Well, I'm sure they can get a waiver if this
Oh
happened to be in states because
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's a historical moment to actually
it's
push
also
the
just really
limits,
cool.
right? To do that.
Yeah, I just like I was just I'm trying to think of it as a pilot. Like, you climb up this mountain and someone just goes, "All right, hold on, let me pull out my drone." Like,
Because if you
like
look at this, I mean, so when I started in drones, one of the reasons I started in drones was because we're into filming and we're into
mhm.
filming in remote locations. And we always wanted to add what's called dynamic camera movement. So I was tired of your typical nature photography, right? Just go there with one camera, take a picture or put the camera on a tripod. So I was
Yep,
actually carrying sliders, motionless sliders, and I was carrying a small jib just so we can add a bit of movement, right? If we're doing
yep.
time lapse or if we're doing video sequence. It was about 20 kilograms of gear, just film gear, right?
Mhm,
Not talking about
mhm.
camping or outdoor gear, just film gear to carry. So once you go vertical, that's a lot of weight. And that was one of the primary reasons I looked into drones because I
Mhm.
wanted to, stand on top of a cliff and then have almost unlimited range and angle for possibilities. If I put a tripod or even a slider, I'm still limited to, 2 to 3 meters range. It's not like I can just do anything I want. So to
Mhm.
actually take a drone up to Mount Everest and just have, like I bet it's the first time they were able to capture all those different angles. No one's done
I
that
don't
before.
other than, like, helicopter shots I've remember seeing from, like, years ago that are super low quality. Like, I don't remember seeing this is, like, the first time I think I've seen Mount Everest from this kind of point of view,
And
especially in
knowing,
this quality.
knowing the weather elements and knowing how hard it actually is to get up there just for a
Mhm.
person, right? For them to capture all this video up there, just imagine, how long they had to stay there, the risks they had to take. So it's definitely,
They
like I
had to
said,
have had gone up a couple times too, because, like, I know, like, it's you can only be up by the top of Mount Everest for, like, a very short amount. I think you only get, like,
yeah.
an hour or so
And
window or
it's a
something like that
traffic
to be on
jam. And
top.
if you watched any of the documentaries about climbing Mount Everest,
Mhm.
you can only go up during specific season, right? Like a
Yeah.
specific days when
This
you have a
doesn't look to
wind.
be one of those seasons because you've also if in the recent years, there's people who go up and it's like there's a line of people. Like
It's
there
a
are
traffic jam.
hundreds
Yeah.
of people who are like doing it. Like it's no longer I don't want to say it's still a challenging feat to do as a human being, but there's so much more ways to be able to do it, like to be able to train to do it. Like so more and more people are doing it every year. It's become more and more popular. And now there's like there's a line of people to get up to the summit. And you don't see it in this video, which I don't know how they must have gone like out of season or just before the
It's
season started.
very difficult to go out of season.
Yeah, and to get like video of it
And we're
without
talking
the
about,
line of people.
life and death, like literally matter of life and death, right?
Yeah.
Um,
So talk
and
about dedication.
personally, I don't like, personally, I like they said flying over Mount Everest. I actually don't like when people use the word conquer. You don't conquer mountains. You don't conquer the nature, right? The nature conquers you. I mean, you go enjoy it. You go
Mhm.
find yourself or explore, but I never like when people say conquer something.
Yeah. But no, it's a super cool video and only like 2 minutes long, which would be longer. But of course, also
I
they're probably
believe they're
limited how
making an
much.
actual I believe they're making an actual documentary.
That'd be cool. Awesome. That'd be awesome. Can't wait to see that.
I mean, there are tons of, Mount Everest documentaries out there, but this is definitely one of its kind.
Listen, I just want to document with drones, man. That's all I want.
Well, it is Friday. If you're looking for some weekend entertainment, I'll put the video link in the description down below. So just to recap for today, we covered, Teledyne with their new FLIR drone, which I'm really looking forward to trying this and compare this against the other public safety drones currently. There's also, Dragonfly and along the news of commercial UAV Expo this week. So if you're interested in seeing some of the bigger commercial drone toys, check out Commercial UAV Expo's website. They've got tons of information on there. We are seeing DJI's new Action Cam, Action 3, that's going to come out on September 14th. And for your weekend entertainment, there is Mavic 3 flying over Mount Everest. That's all we got for you this week, and we'll see you back here next Friday.